Welcome to the Audio Show.
Well, friends, what we have between Ben and Anthony is a very unique relationship, and I think I know what the writers are trying to do, and I like it. I like it because they're using Ben to give a different perspective to the black community, because most people who watch this are definitely black. Let's get into it. Let's go.
You've been married to a black and a white woman. So you mean to tell me that all women in general are the same?
No. I mean, definitely not the same, but I mean, all women have the ability to push us in a way that can be off-putting, you know?
Okay.
So what he's saying is basically that all women possess certain traits that are very, very similar, and I want to say that is actually true. You know, as a person maybe who has been nobody checking out any of the stuff, but yes, I've been around different races and had to date with different races. Yes, O'Neill has done this. Right? I've seen it black, I've seen it white, I've seen it, in different lights. Let's just put it that way, right? And all I'm saying is that there are certain things that are similar between women. There are certain things about them that are similar. Now, of course, you're going to have differences here and there culturally, but there are certain things that are similar about the different races when it comes to women.
What's the difference between being with a white woman and a black woman?
Well, I mean, first of all, the cooking. I mean, the seasoning. Just, with Abigail, I mean, I experienced some tastes I'd never tasted before. I mean.
All right. So yes, naturally. No, I will say this though. Yes, it is true. Sure, us blacks are gonna cook a little bit more different, in comparison to how a white person cook, because them generally cook more pasta, or to my experience, more Italian kind of dishes, more things with just it's not tasty. It's not the tasty of things. I guess they can find certain stuff to give you and you probably will be okay. Maybe some toast, sometimes some eggs, but in general, you're going to find better cooking on the black side of things. Now, I think that this is changing a little bit. Hear me out. Don't start booing it, please. Don't even go there. No. Hear me out. Back then, black women were being taught to cook a lot more often than they are now. To me, unless people can come out and give me something different on this, it feels to me like black women aren't great cooks like one time, because of the various ways of getting food, the door dashing and whatever it is, and the Uber Eats and various things. Just women just don't cook as much. If you even listen to some of the various, when you listen to some of the podcasts, you listen to women them talk, you can realize that this is actually true. They don't cook like they used to cook one time. No, they still hold, of course, black people will still hold the majority for cooking as far as seasoning is concerned, but it is not like one time. You can't just randomly pick a black girl like you could before and find that she can cook. But argue me with this point. Go ahead and argue me.
The spices, that first and foremost, and then, you know how long it took me to finally have collard greens? My man, like, why did I not have any of those? Those are delicious.
Exactly. Okay.
Cocoa butter. Smell of cocoa butter, dude. It's something different. Danielle's, she takes a shower, she gets all cleaned up, she smells great, everything like that, but man, there's something about the smell of cocoa butter. Between you and me, I miss that.
You miss cocoa butter.
All right, so the cocoa butter thing, I think I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around that. I know people used to use cocoa butter, but I feel like this is more of a stereotype. I think so. And y'all can argue this one with me. I don't think black people use as much cocoa butter as people think black people use. If that makes sense to you. I literally have to be looking around for fine cocoa butter. Now, was there at one point a lot of cocoa butter lotion? Maybe there was. Right? There was a time when you have whole heap of cocoa butter lotion, because of course it assists with the skin, with, getting the skin from being dry or whatever else it may be. I just don't think that you have as much cocoa butter as you had one time. But is he correct? I mean, are we more cocoa butter using people? I mean, we just avoid for cocoa butter or spread for your skin. Let me ask you this then. Do you use cocoa butter? Yes or no? Put that in the chat when we finish with this video. Keep running.
Yeah, man. I mean, but in terms of just how women are, I mean, you know this. Black women, they speak to your soul, and I love Danielle. She is the love of my life. I'm gonna stay with her. I mean, but we have very similar upbringings. We speak the same language. We think about the same things. With Abigail, it's a little bit more difficult. If I'm being real.
Different.
Okay, so I think I know where it's coming from because it's harder to explain. Yes, it's going to be a little more difficult because I feel like there's always going to be the issue of race and privilege. And so Abigail going to feel life different from how Ben is going to feel life. That is true. Blacks feel life different from how whites feel life. It's just what it is. Even if a white woman actually has a child with a black man, even though the child might be light skinned or whatever it may be, he still will feel life much differently because he still won't be viewed completely as white. And then of course sometimes in the black community, I'm going to be seen as, we all call it light skin, and that's a different, complex of realizing the makeup of over here. So I believe that there is. Ben is actually making sense as to what it is. I think we probably feel, we'll speak to the soul much better because I feel like we get that as part of our ancestral traits due to history. I do believe that. I do believe that white people isn't meant to really feel as much pain, so because they haven't really felt as much pain, them can't really get into those depths of their feelings or emotions. So I think that's what Ben is talking about. I could be wrong, but hey, y'all go ahead and correct me in the comments.
Just in terms of like intensity and like, I don't know. I just, there's definitely a difference, but I mean, women in general are all cut from the same cloth, especially good-looking ones. So I see where you're coming from, but yeah, man, it's funny going back thinking about that stuff. Also, the hair products and the hair routines that she would do every night. I knew nothing about any of that. Like every night before bed, she had to go through this whole wrapping it up in a bonnet and stuff. It's just different. It's just, it's different, but she can still push my buttons just like Danielle can. But it's different. I don't know.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna set in different cocoa butter.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this conversation that they're bringing forth. I know the Wayne channel is bringing this forth. To kind of give some diversity to the actual skits, and I love it. I'm gonna be honest. I love it. I honestly love it. I feel like doing this opens up the screen. It gives us an inkling into, white people some more or any other race that they may want to bring on, because sometimes we kind of don't know each other and it'd be good to kind of find out exactly what's different or if there's like a difference. I do agree with Ben though that there's not much difference in terms of like certain traits are just women traits. When you say a woman, she does that. A woman still going to argue. A woman still going to try to do like a picky things to get at you. They just do it different ways. A black woman do it different from how a white woman may do it. A black woman may more attacking and white women probably a little bit more softer in their asking of it. But a black woman just a little bit more aggressive in that, right? If you want to call it assertive, you could call it that. I say aggressive because it's just a bit more aggressive. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because I feel that that's what makes us unique as a people, right? It's our ability to always fight and always ability to go forward in things. But it is. Now, if that can be transmuted to other areas, I mean, hey, you could see like leaps and bounds in many different areas. For example, if a black woman transmits her energy of say assert aggression into say assertiveness and probably move that toward business and different areas, you will see the actual results of it. So it can be transmuted. It's just that They might just behave that way because of, you know, let's use some anterior lines, because of pretty much past and how them probably have been grown up and what they've probably experienced. Because it isn't easy. You know what I mean? It really isn't, well, it doesn't even be anything at all. And let me not ramble here, but being a black person just has its thing to it, where you're going to come upon a lot of obstacles and you're going to have to be able to push through those obstacles to make it. Let me just use that to rest that there. Give me a take, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to talk to y'all soon.